So now let's move to welcome our GE to provide his feedback on the overall meeting. Please welcome Richard.
Thank you, Madam Toastmaster, and good afternoon, fellow Toastmasters. So when I took on acceptance of this role, I had a panic midway through the meeting as Ruby was providing her speech that the general evaluator role was a whole lot more than I thought it was going to be, and then as it turned out, we didn't quite follow that pattern going through the meeting, but that's okay. We accept each other in this team, and that's one of the reasons I love this Toastmasters Club, that our general level of acceptance of everybody in the group and some of our shortcomings is fantastic, makes everybody feel safe and comfortable. We got off to a little bit of a slow start. There was, and unfortunately it seems to be a little bit of the norm that we have some confusion over roles and some roles not quite filled, but everybody as always kind of pulls together and jumps in and we get all the roles filled. But we got off to a little bit of a late start, but then we got going and we actually, by the time we got to the prepared speeches stage, we'd actually got ourselves back onto the agenda, which is fantastic. And we'd covered most of the points. Obviously, we didn't get around everybody in the round table, and I think the round table took a little bit longer than we were expecting to do, so we didn't get to introduce everybody. But we did get to include our word of the day. We were provided with the purpose of the word of the day, some great examples of the use of the word of the day. We had a fantastic joke from Ben, and thank you for that. Into the table topics, and again, a slight change in pattern, but I think it was an improvement where we're looking for volunteers so people aren't necessarily being press gang into it, and you get a chance to hear the question, and if it's something that kind of piques your interest, then you can kind of jump in with both feet as opposed to doing it blind. So I thought that was a big improvement this week, and I do have one eye on the clock that we are running a little behind. As I said, Ruby's speech would have been very helpful to me about a week ago before I accepted this role, but I will use that for next time and maybe use some of the content for that speech for looking at future roles. One thing I noticed was during the 1 minute of silence for the evaluators after the prepared speeches, normally there's something going on in the background. We were fortunate on the second speech that we got to watch Lisa finishing making the batch of peanut butter cocoa maple syrup coconut bowls. So thank you for that. But yeah, otherwise we were kind of all sitting around staring at the camera. And then we got into the evaluation section, and obviously the Toastmasters promise is to provide fellow members with helpful, constructive evaluations. And I think we checked all the boxes there. I will say, Stephen, in the table topics evaluations, we were a little short on opportunities for improvement. And whilst I agree that generally everybody did a fantastic job on the table topics, if we could try and provide a couple of challenges to people, it doesn't even have to be a negative. It's just a challenge for how you can kick it up to the next level. I think that would be really fulfill that promise then of table topics. And then the prepared speeches evaluations, again, Ben, thank you for jumping in the last second and taking that one on and providing feedback. Arobo, again, a wonderful evaluation, some very colorful language in there that certainly kept me engaged in that. So overall, I think it was a good meeting, and we are now running overtime, so maybe not quite so good.